What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father, Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below. This video is entitled Teaching Yourself to Be a Gentleman. I was raised by my grandparents, but as society changed, a lot of times teaching myself to be a gentleman or chivalrous or courteous or an honorable man, for the most part, is what I'm talking about, as in the definition of gentleman says. I had to teach myself certain things, trial and error, right? I had to build on certain things that I was taught. I had to learn how to dress for the occasion, right? When you was a kid, the lesson my grandparents taught was, you got school clothes, play clothes, and church clothes. So you dress for every occasion. But as you get older, my grandparents died, so you learn, And I said a long time ago in one of the videos, I was one of those young kids who was sagging because a lot of times I had hand-me-downs, and a lot of times when I was living with my mother, I didn't know my clothes size, and my mother didn't really figure that out. So I was an adult before I knew like my waist and length, chest and shoulders and waist, all that. So I was an adult when I had to figure out actually my size and the actual clothes that fit me right, or the way I was supposed to dress, or clothes that made me feel comfortable. Because sagging was about comfort for the most part, for me, Like some people it was fashion, but some people like me, it was comfort. I had to pull them down some because bitches were too tight and or too small, so you sagged them to make them look like they was actually the right length, right? Or I used to wear workout shorts because I played a lot of sports when I was younger. So I always had my workout clothes, like shorts and stuff, under my clothes, so they would slide anyways because I used to wear them slick type of shorts. But so over the years, I learned how to dress for the occasion. You learn how to tie your own tie. Put on a suit properly. The nuances of suits and tie clips and those things. I learned how to carry myself in different environments, because that's part of dressing for the occasion, or you have to carry yourself differently. I learned how to, when in a professional setting, be professional. When in a fun setting, be fun. You can't. As you grow older, you learn how that you can maneuver the nuance. Because a lot of times when you're teaching yourself to be a gentleman, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, because other people are taught the nuances of being a man, probably by their family, when you're not. You know what I'm saying? At that certain age that you're not, so you're behind. It is what it is. So you're accustomed. You're gonna make mistakes. Another thing I had to teach myself was there's a time and a place for everything. See, it's building upon old lessons. There's a time and a place for everything. And for me, I had an anger problem. Like you get me angry enough, I will try to destroy you. That's just who I am. But I remember my father telling me a long time, anger is the enemy. And, don't let your anger do something in a short period of time that's going to cost you a long period of time. And I didn't get it at first, because a lot of the people I saw who did angry things, they got away with it. But I didn't realize at the time that they were cowards and they would never stand on what they did. Like me, nah, I'll stand on it. Like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, yeah, it's had it coming. What? That's me. But I realize a lot of people, that's in a sense that's honorable, but my anger could put me in a bad spot. So I learned, there's a time and place for everything. I learned to divert my anger into a different avenue. Like if something happens and it angers me, I might channel that energy into doing something else that's productive. Use it as fuel as a fire. Use it as fuel to fire something else, basically. I hope I say that right. I'm tired. But I learned that. I learned there's a time and place for everything, in the sense of sometimes those people come back into your life. So if a person crossed me, I learned I can walk away. I could walk away with my head high and honorable as saying, okay, you crossed me at the moment where you did it. I couldn't really react like I wanted to, so I walked away. Now life will bring you back to me. And I've been in those situations where life brought a person back to me, and life beat them up to the point where I didn't even have to touch them. And I've been in those situations where life brought you back to me in a spot where, what you say? Remember that? Oh, yeah, it's on now. It's nothing you can hide behind. And it's like, oh, shit, yeah. Because I don't forget nothing. You know. So it just depends. So I don't believe in forgive and forget. I believe in forgive, and you better not cross my path no more if I see you on the wrong day. You know, I ain't gonna even lie about that. Like, that's why I said my anger is an issue, right? But to be a gentleman, sometimes you just gotta let shit. You gotta let shit go. You know, maybe let it go forever. Maybe let it go for another occasion. But you can't just react to every situation that happens. I had to learn that. I had to learn to stand on, stand on your word, because I saw a lot of men who weren't honorable men, who thought lying, cheating, manipulating, and stealing was cute. You know, it made them happy to get over on somebody. And something in my spirit just never respected that. And as I got older, I understood why. You know, as a man, you can stand. Being a man, you have to stand on what you say, and you have to stand on your actions. You can't be a man if you're a liar, cheater, a manipulator, or a thief. Can't. They don't go together. There's no honor in that. You know, if you're a backstabber, there's no honor in that. You know. As far as dating, being chivalrous and courteous, I learned through trial and error of dating. Like, there's a point where you don't want to be a simp and you don't want to trick. And I get that. But I learned in trial and error, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. If I want to go somewhere and I tell somebody I want to go, and I'm going to go with, and I want to go with you, you go. You don't. I'm going to still do it. And if you go with me, I'm trying to have a good time. So I didn't come for the bullshit. So I'm going to have a good time with you, even if you don't want to have a good time. And since I asked for it, it's on me. But that's part of being chivalrous, right? But like I said, it was a trial and error thing. Because some people, and this is part of I learned about, some people want to create strife to have a story to tell. And when you don't give them that story to tell, to be perfectly honest, you leave them with themselves, and they can't, and they're shook. But that's on them. That's not on you. And I get to that because of courtesy. I learned to be courteous, to respect people, even people who don't respect me, and people because if you can't respect the person that respects you, 9 times out of 10 is because you don't respect yourself. And I can't make you respect yourself. But I can respect the code enough to be courteous to everybody. You get what I'm saying? And I learned sometimes you're going to have to respect people who are not respectable. And show them something that they can't show themselves because they just not there yet. And it's okay, Part of being an honorable man is to show people honor, what honor looks like, even when it costs you. You know what I mean? And people take shots at you for being a gentleman. They do. They want you to get what they feel is out of character. Now, this might be wrong that I'm about to say this, but being able to check somebody or destroy somebody or take somebody's head off, I don't think is not a gentleman quality. Because at some point you might have to stand up for yourself or defend someone. So, to be a gentleman does not mean that, in my opinion, that you don't have aggressiveness, and assertiveness in you. It's just when to use it. Like I would say, childish phrase like Mufasa. Mufasa was a gentleman, right? I just like the Lion King. I don't know why, but Mufasa was a gentleman. He didn't have to go out there and be a bully every day. He knew when the time comes, I'm gonna have to do this. You know. So I think a lot of times I think people get that misconstrued. Like you're supposed to be this. Like even when you read the Bible, Jesus went off on people. He would be considered a gentleman, an honorable man, right? He still went off on people because sometimes it just goes with the territory. So, but when you're teaching yourself to be a gentleman, sometimes you might let things go that you shouldn't let go, and sometimes you might have went too far when you shouldn't have. So that's what happens when you're teaching yourself because you don't have a model, And I would say when you're teaching yourself to be a gentleman, like the trial and error is a long process. Sometimes people may want something out of you that you haven't become yet because you're still working through it. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. Because if you're teaching it to yourself, people are, like a lot of times, if you're in a spot where you're teaching yourself to be a gentleman, people want you at a certain space, but you have to look at the other people who are asking this of you. Like they may be 50, 60, 70% of what they fully should be. And if you 50, 60, 70% of what you fully should be, then they should understand. Usually people like that are looking for you to do for them what they are not doing for themselves because they're not trying to. You also got to take that into consideration. Because when you're trying to be a gentleman, people will manipulate you in the process because you're trying to be better and they're trying to manipulate you wanting to be better to benefit them. Because they're not honorable people themselves. They look at it as an opportunity to come up. So, these are things I've learned over the years. I'm gonna stop it here because I don't like long videos. So we out, yo.